everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to learn how to make this beautiful and easy cute houndstooth stitch crochet bralette. This is made of the same exact stitch, so within the video I'll show you how to play around with the same stitch in order to create different effects, as you can see on the bottom band as well as the bra cups. So this is the same exact stitch. The only difference is you play around with the stitch in a different way to create different effects. So this top has a houndstooth stitch for the bra cups, and then we have the lemon peel stitch for the bottom band, and then we have these thick sturdy straps that don't dig into the skin. So then we have a back lace up, as you can see here, and then yeah, it has a very beautiful fitting, of course, and then the bra cups definitely create room for the bust area. So let's dive right into the materials. All right, so for the materials I used a 4mm crochet hook. I'll keep the theme green because I felt like my nails were already green, so I kept it green all through. So you'll be seeing different shades of green in this video. So if you're a green lover, this project must be for you. So but you can make it in any shades of your choice. Imagine this in shades of purple, a dark purple and a lilac. You can do red and pink. You can do yellow, butter yellow and mustard yellow. So literally you can play around with different colors in order to create different effects. And I can't wait to see the recreations of this piece on your end. So if you happen to get any value from this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I know you don't give this away for free, but if you happen to get value from this video, make sure you're subscribed for more amazing content. So we have a 4mm crochet hook, and then we also have a pair of scissors, some stitch markers, and then we have a darning needle and a measuring tape. Now when it comes to the yarn, I use this milk cotton yarn, as you can see here. I needed about 1.5 balls of the main color, which is the green, the dark green, the darker shade of green. I needed 1.5 balls, and I'll be mentioning all the amounts in the description box below. So 1.5 balls for the darker green, and when it comes to the mint green, I needed about approximately half a ball just to create those accents in order to create the houndstooth stitch for the bra cups. And yeah, I have all my materials ready here, and if you would like the written pattern, it's already available on all my online shops. You can check the link in the description box below. So let's get started. All right, so we're going to grab our 4mm crochet hook and our very first color, and we're going to make a chain, starting off with a slip knot. We're going to make a chain that runs from the base of your breast up to your nipple. So I'll be recommending a number of chains for the different sizes. For me, I started with a chain of 16. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 and 16. So this chain should be an even number. So I have 16 chains here, and for all the other sizes, just check on the screen. You're going to go into the second chain from the hook, which is this one. You go in there with a single crochet. So insert your hook, pull up a loop. You'll have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all, and then double crochet into the next chain. So yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop. You have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. That's a double crochet in the US terms. So single crochet into the next chain and double crochet into the next. So we are alternating between single crochet and double crochet into the next chain all the way across until we have only 1 chain left. So whichever number of chains that you started with, this is the procedure that you're going to follow until you have only 1 chain left on your row. single crochet, double crochet into the next chain, single crochet into the next, and double crochet into the next. So for the second last chain, you should have placed a double crochet, and now I have only one chain left. And in that last chain, you're going to place one single crochet, one double crochet into the same chain, and one single crochet into the same chain. So the very last chain has received 3 stitches, a single crochet, a double crochet, and a single crochet. This brings us to the back side of our foundation chain or our starting chain. So we're going to go to the back, and into the next chain you're going to place a double crochet. So while I work towards the back of our starting chain, I'm weaving in this tail. So double crochet here, and then a single crochet into the next chain, a double crochet into the next chain, a single crochet into the next chain. So as I'm working, I'm weaving in this tail, as you can see here. So we are keeping on alternating between double crochet and single crochet, just like we did on the opposite side. So I'm coming to the end of my row, and I'm placing a double crochet into the second last chain, and you should end with a single crochet into the very last chain. So what we've done here is just to copy what's on this side and pasting it on the opposite side. Whichever stitch got a single crochet on this side has gotten the same single crochet on this side, and whichever stitch got a double has gotten a double on this side. So we've ended with a single crochet into the last chain because we started with a single crochet in the second chain from the hook. So from here you're going to make a chain of 1, and you're going to cut your yarn, leaving behind a tail to weave in. So pull through and fasten off. This is our row 1. We are going on to row 2. And for row 2, you're going to introduce your second color. For me, that is the mint green. You're going to start off with a slip knot, and you're going to attach it in the stitch where you left off your previous color. So into this stitch, that last single crochet here. You're going to attach your yarn with a slip stitch, and then you're going to go into the same space, into the same single crochet with a single crochet and then a chain of 1. This will count as our very first double crochet for this pattern. So the single crochet and the chain of 1. I'm doing this because I don't want a big space between the first stitch and the second stitch. So this single crochet and the chain of 1 counts as a double crochet. Keep that in mind. Then you're going to go into the next stitch, which is a double crochet, and place a single crochet. So this time round we are alternating. Whichever stitch got a single crochet from the previous row should get a double crochet, and each double crochet gets a single crochet. So we've placed a single crochet here, and then a double crochet into the next single crochet, and a single crochet into the next double crochet. So keep alternating between the 2 stitches. Another thing that I forgot to mention, you should make use of a stitch marker, this one. So you're going to locate the exact middle stitch, which is this one, the double crochet on top of the bra cup, and mark it with a stitch marker. This is totally optional. If you can eyeball it, that's perfectly fine. You don't have to use the stitch marker. So we are going on to place double crochet into the next single crochet and single crochet into the next double crochet. So keep alternating between the two stitches, and this is going to start creating the houndstooth stitch. Single crochet into the next double crochet, and then you should end with a double crochet into the single crochet before the stitch with the stitch marker. As you can see here, we've placed a double crochet here, and then our exact middle stitch is here, and that should be a double crochet, this one, with the stitch marker. So you're going to go into the double crochet with one single crochet, one double crochet into the same stitch, and one single crochet into the same stitch. So we've placed 3 stitches into the middle stitch, and then you're going to mark the middle double crochet of the 3 stitches. That will be the exact middle stitch, and then you're going to go into the next single crochet with a double crochet, and then single crochet into the next double crochet, and you're going to alternate between the 2 stitches until the end of your row. You should notice that the double crochet stitches are longer than the single crochet stitches. So wherever you see a double crochet, place a single crochet, and wherever you see a single crochet, place a double crochet. Single, double, single, and then double crochet into the last single crochet of the previous row. So this ends row 2. It starts with a double crochet and ends with a double crochet. This is row 2. Now you're going to make a chain of 1, cut your yarn, leaving behind a tail to weave in, pull through, and now we're switching to our next color, which is the same color as row 1. So for our row 3, we are reintroducing our color A, and we are starting off with a slip knot, just like that, and we are attaching into the double crochet at the end of the previous row. So into that double crochet, you're going to attach your yarn, just like this, with a slip stitch, and then go into the same exact stitch with a single crochet, and then double crochet into the next, and single crochet into the next double crochet into the next single crochet, and single crochet into the next double crochet. So keep working this. I want to work a few rows so that you can see the houndstooth stitch starting to form. So keep alternating between double crochet and single crochet until you place a double crochet in the stitch before the one with the stitch marker. So as you can see here, I've placed a double crochet in the stitch before the one with the stitch marker. You're going to remove your stitch marker, and then in that double crochet, this one that had the stitch marker, you're going to place one single crochet, one double crochet, and one more single crochet into the same stitch, and then mark the middle double crochet of the 3 stitches with a stitch marker, and then continue to place one double crochet in the next single crochet and one single crochet in the next double crochet, and keep doing this until the end of the row. So if we were not changing colors, we would get a beautiful texture. As you can see in my Zoe top, I have made this kind of bra cup before, just a different shaping, but with a plain color, and that should give you a beautiful texture of the lemon peel stitch. But the fact that now we are switching colors, we should be getting the houndstooth stitch. So once we get to the end of row 3, we've ended with a double crochet in the second last stitch, and you should end with a single crochet on top of the last double crochet. So just like that, we are done with row 3. And then you're going to make a chain of 1 and cut your yarn, leaving behind a tail to weave in. And then switch to your next color, which is the mint green. This will be my last demonstration color. So attach where you left off your previous row. So we've ended with a single crochet. So that means we're going to attach our yarn into the single crochet, and that single crochet should get a double crochet. So you're going to go into the same stitch with a single crochet, chain 1, and this will count as our very first double crochet of the row, just like we did for row 2. So this is our double crochet, and then single crochet into the next double crochet into the next single crochet into the next double, and keep working that until you place a double crochet in the stitch before the one with the stitch marker at the top of the bra cup. Alright, so I'm placing a double crochet here in the stitch before the one with the stitch marker. You're going to remove your stitch marker, and into that the stitch that had the stitch marker, you're going to place 1 single, 1 double, and 1 single, and then replace the stitch marker into the middle stitch of the 3 stitches, which should be a double crochet, and then double crochet into the next stitch, single crochet into the next, double into the next, single into the next, and keep alternating between the 2 stitches until the end of the row. So we're coming to the end of row 4. Yes, row 4, and you should end with a double crochet in the last single crochet of the previous row. So row 4 starts with a double crochet and ends with a double crochet. That means the even rows start and end with a double crochet. The odd rows start and end with a single crochet. So you should be starting to see the houndstooth stitch starting to form, and you're just going to keep alternating between the 2 rows again and again until you have enough coverage for your bra cup. I'll be recommending a number of rows that you can consider for the different sizes, but this is not gospel truth. If you feel like you need more coverage, you will definitely make more rows, or if you feel like you need less coverage, please feel free to make less rows. Now I'm going to make a chain of 1 and cut my yarn. So keep working those 2 rows again and again, and you will see your bra cup starting to grow and creating more coverage. So let me go ahead and keep working mine, and I'll meet you back to show you how many rows that I ended up with and the effect that's created once we repeat this same process again and again to create the houndstooth crochet bra cup. Alright guys, I ended up doing a total of 11 rows, and this is for a medium size. And yeah, one thing that I considered was to bring back the middle color. You should see the middle color, is quite thick compared to these other rows. So the middle color is thick, and I brought it back on the edge. So whichever number of rows that you consider doing, make sure you make an odd number of rows so that we end the edging of our bra cup with the middle color. That is an odd row. So for me, I did a total of 11 rows, and this is just enough for me. You should see the loose ends. They're quite many, and we're going to deal with them. Another thing that you need to consider is the yarn that you're using. Mine is quite stretchy, so that's why I feel like this is for a size medium. If yours is quite tight and not stretchy, you can consider maybe adding 2 rows, or yeah, just expanding the bra cup a little bit, because we want this piece to fit perfectly well. So the next thing that you're going to do is to get your darning needle. I'll be using this one because we are all about the green shades today. So you can see my hook, then my darning needle, then the project that we are working with. My nails, definitely we are in the green mode, everything green. So you're going to look at the direction of your very final row. So the right side of your final row will be the right side of your bra cup. So turn it onto the wrong side of your final row, and this is where we're going to weave in these tails. So you just get each and every tail and thread it into your darning needle and go in and out of a few stitches at the back of the bra cup. This is on the wrong side of our final row. You can go in and out of a few stitches, just like that, and then do the same for each and every strand, but make sure you're weaving in the tail in the same exact color. As you can see here, when I'm weaving in the mint green, I am still considering the mint green area so that I don't distort the look of my bra cup or the colors that I've already placed. So when you're weaving in the mint green, weave it into the mint green area, just like that. And then you're going to keep doing this, mint green, thread it, and then weave it into the row of mint green at the back of the bra cup. This is the darker green, and I'm going to weave it in the dark green zone. And just like that, you can see how we are cleaning up the bottom edge of our bra cup. If you keep doing this, you're going to get a very neat finish at the base of your bra cup. So I'm weaving them in so that when I'm done with everything, I can just go in with my pair of scissors and I cut off the loose ends without worrying about the unraveling bit. Alright guys, we are done weaving in all the tails. They have moved away from the bottom edge of our bra cup. Now you can go ahead and cut them individually. you're just going to go ahead and cut them, knowing very well that you secured them very well. You're just going to go ahead and cut every strand individually. All right, after cutting off your loose ends, this is what your bra cup will look like. Look how beautiful and neat our bra cup looks like. So we're going to go ahead and make an identical piece. So let me just go ahead and make another one exactly the same as this, and then I'll come back and show you what to do next. All right, so these are all the loose ends that I've cut from our bra cups. And I have both my bra cups here, and make sure you're placing them in a way that the very final row is facing the upper side, like it's facing the right side of the bra cup. As you can see here, this is the right side of the bra cup. Now you're going to have two bra cups ready here. Now you're going to count the number of rows. Remember I told you that I did a total of 11 rows, but the fact that a bra cup is worked like this, that will look like I have a total of 22 rows, because we have 11 on this side and 11 on this side. So I have a total of 22 to consider across the base of the whole bra cup. So when I have, count the number of rows that you've made for your bra cup, multiply it by 2, and then you get that number and multiply it by 2 because you have two bra cups. So for me, I have 11 rows. 11 times 2 is 22. So that means those are the 22 that are running across one bra cup. And then multiply that number by 2 because we have two bra cups. So 22 and 22 here, we have a total of 44. And then add 20 to that number. So 44 plus 20, which is 64. So that's the number that we are going to consider when we are working the bottom band of our bralette. So whichever number that you have here, 22 times 2, 44 plus 20. So that is 64. Whichever number that you come up with for the base of your bra cup, add 20 to it, and that's the number of rows that we are going to consider when working the bottom band of the bralette. And if you want it longer, you'll go ahead and do that, but for me, that's what I considered. So you're going to get your main color. For me, I'm going to consider the darker color for the bottom band of my bralette. You're going to make a chain that is the thickness of the bottom band that you want. So you're going to start off with a slip knot and then make a chain. For me, I'm going to do a total of 19 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. So this is the thickness that I want for my bottom band. You can make it even thicker if you wish, but for me, I have a total of about 4 inches without stretching. So that number should be an odd number. Whichever number of chains that you end up with, this will be the thickness of the bottom band. Just put it at the base of your bra cups. This will be the thickness of the bottom band of your top. Now you're going to go into the second chain from the hook, and now we are more familiar with the pattern. So second chain from the hook and make a single crochet, and then double crochet into the next. Single crochet into the next chain and double crochet into the next. Single crochet into the next and double crochet into the next. So you're going to repeat that all the way across. single crochet into the next, and you should end your row with a double crochet into the last chain. So this time round for the bottom band, we are using a solid color, so we're not cutting our yarn at the end of the row. After this, you're going to make a chain of 1 and then turn your work and single crochet into the first double crochet into the next single crochet into the next double crochet, and double crochet into the next single crochet. So that's the repeat for row 2. You're just going to keep alternating between single crochet and double crochet, making sure you place a double crochet in each single crochet from the previous row and a single crochet in each double crochet from the previous row. You should be able to see the double crochets appear bigger than the single crochets. So every double crochet gets a single, and then the single crochets are small, so they get a double crochet. Just keep alternating between the 2 stitches all the way across, and make sure that you end with a double crochet into the last single crochet of the previous row. So for the bottom band, all you have to note is we start our rows with a single crochet and end our rows with a double crochet. And another thing is, if you have a single crochet, you place a double crochet, and if you have a double crochet, you place a single crochet into it. So we are basically doing the same exact pattern. The difference is this time we are not alternating the colors. So it will be the same pattern, but different in a way that it will create different effects, both on the bra cup and on the bottom band. So you're going to keep repeating row 2, make a chain of 1 and turn your work, place a single crochet. Remember I told you each row starts with a single crochet, and keep alternating between double crochet and single crochet all the way across, and make sure you end with a double crochet in the last single crochet of the previous row. So the bottom band is going to create a beautiful textured stitch, which is called the lemon peel stitch or the griddle stitch, I believe. I think it's the same stitch. And if you alternate colors, just like we did for the bra cups, that gives you a houndstooth stitch. So you can see how we can play around with the same stitch to create different effects. So I've ended with a double crochet in the last stitch. So you're going to keep working this until you have the number that we noted down. Remember the 64? That is the number of rows that you're going to end up with. You're going to consider making for the bottom band. The 22 times 2, which is 44, plus the 20, that is 64. That's the number of rows that you're going to consider for making the bottom band of our bralette. So let me go ahead and keep working this and keep growing it to the length that I want for the bottom band of my bralette. And then I'll meet you back when I'm done with that. All right, guys, let's focus on the texture of this beautiful stitch. This is the lemon peel stitch, and you can find some tutorials of this stitch on my channel. I have shorts, I have tops, I have a halter top, and so many other things that you can try out using this stitch, and I'll be leaving them in the description box below. So this is what we have for our bottom band, and I went ahead to attach stitch markers. You may see stitch markers and you wonder why I attached stitch markers here. Remember the number 20 that I added to my 44, that brought us from 44 to 64. The 20, I have 10 here and 10 here on the edge. So once you get your bottom band, you're going to count 10 rows in from this side and then mark that part, and then 10 rows from this side and then mark the 10th row on this side. And that means our bra cups are going to literally sit between these two points that are marked. So you're going to get your darning needle and the color that you used for your bottom band. So you're going to get your bottom band color and thread it into a darning needle, just like this. And we are going to attach our bra cups. Since the calculations are already done and they're perfect, I'm going to start with the 11th row from this side. So not the one with the stitch marker, this one, right after it. And I'm going to attach into the first row of the bra cup on this side. Make sure your bra cup is facing the right side. All right. So after attaching this, you're going to go into the next row and attach into the next row of the bra cup, and then into the next row and into the next row of the bra cup. We're just going in once. I'm not going to go in twice. I don't want a bulge on the joining of my bra cup. So keep attaching row to row, just like this. And you can see what we have. Our stitches are going to blend in so well that you may not even notice that we worked these pieces separately. So make sure you don't skip any stitch. We want these stitches to align the same exact way that we planned for them. So this is what we have. We have attached our very first bra cup, and look how beautiful this looks. Now we're going to go ahead and attach our second one into this space until the row before the marked row with the stitch markers. So look at what we have, guys. This is so beautiful. All right, guys, we are done attaching our bra cups onto the bottom band. And at this point, you can get rid of the stitch markers that we used to mark the 10th stitch on either side of the bottom band. You can get rid of them. And look what we have right now. You can go ahead and weave in these tails. I'm going to turn my work to the back side and weave in these tails, and I'll be back when my work is clean. So you can see this is the back side of the work, but look how neat and beautiful the work looks like. This is the wrong side of our project, but even if someone made a mistake and wore it on the wrong side, they should be able to get a very neat finish. Someone may not even notice that this is the wrong side of the project. Alright guys, we are done weaving in the ends on the wrong side of our work. Now let's turn it onto the right side. This is what we have. You can see the bulge of the bra cups. Don't try to straighten them out, because this is exactly what's going to create room for the coverage for your bust. So this is what the right side of our work looks like. Now we're going to get our hook, and we're going to create loops on the sides of our bottom band. So using the same exact color as the bottom band, which is the darker green, we're going to attach our yarn, and working on the wrong side of your work, you're going to attach your yarn in any stitch, the very last stitch on the edge. So this is the wrong side of my work, and I'll make a chain of 4, which counts as a double crochet chain 1, and then skip 1 stitch and double crochet into the next. Chain 1, skip 1 stitch, double crochet into the next. So that's the repeat for this row. Chain 1, skip a stitch, double crochet into the next. Chain 1, skip a stitch, and double crochet into the next. So you're going to do that all the way across. So I've ended with a double crochet in the second last stitch, and what I'll do, I'll make a chain of 1 and go into the last stitch with a double crochet. So I have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 spaces. This is key because we need to do the same exact number of spaces on the opposite side. So you're going to make a chain of 1, and then now we're going to turn our work onto the right side, the same side as the final row of the bra cup. And we're going to place 2 single crochets in each chain 1 space. So 2 single crochets in each chain 1 space, just to kind of create a thicker or a more solid edging for our mesh pattern, where we're going to lace up our straps. So I'm placing my last 2 single crochets in the last chain space. This is what you have, and then you're going to make a chain of 1 and cut your yarn, pull through, and what you're going to do is weave in these tails. You can weave them in individually or just make a knot, but I prefer to weave them in. So I'm going to turn my work to the back side and weave in this tail properly so that it's not visible at all. And then you're going to also get your darning needle and weave in this tail. So just like that, we are done with the very first side. We have created loops where we're going to lace up at the back of our bralette. We're going to go ahead and do the same exact thing on the opposite side. So go to the wrong side or the back side of the bra cup or the bralette and create your loops the same exact way. Just make sure you have the same exact number of loops. Remember, I counted 9 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, just to cross check. And I should have the same exact number of chain spaces on this side. So make a chain of 4, skip 1 chain and double crochet into the next. Chain 1, skip 1, double crochet into the next. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and chain 1 and go into the last chain with the 9th. So we have our 9 spaces here. Make a chain of 1 and turn your work onto the right side and clean up the edge by placing 2 single crochets in each chain space. So just like we've done on the opposite side, we're just repeating the same exact process. So after cleaning up the edge, make sure you get rid of the loose ends, and then I'll meet you back to show you what to do for the strap. All right, now that we have the loops on both ends, as you can see here, we're now going to create our straps, and we're going to use the same exact color as our main color or the bottom band color. You can alternate the colors the way you wish, but for me, this is the formula that I'm going for because I want the darker green to be my main color. I just want the mint green to be an accent for the project. So you're going to go into the double crochet on top of the bra cup where we were placing an increase. So you're going to attach your yarn and then go into the same exact space with a single crochet. And now we are going to start creating our strap. I'm going to make a very long chain of about 150 chains. All right, so I have my 150 chains, and I'm going to chain one more and go into the second chain from the hook with a slip stitch. So I'm going to go into each and every chain with one slip stitch just to make my strap a little bit thicker and more functional so that it also doesn't dig into the skin of the person wearing the bralette. In case they are to tighten their straps, you can see the difference that we have here as opposed to just a plain chain. So I'm going to go into each and every chain with one slip stitch until I get back to the top of the bra cup or the beginning of the strap. So you can see how thick we are making our strap. Just go all the way until you come back to the beginning of the strap. Alright, so we've made it back to the beginning of our strap, and you can see how thick it is. And now I've just placed a slip stitch in the very last chain before the single crochet here, and I'll go into that space with a single crochet and place a slip stitch as well. Just skip over the single crochet and slip stitch into that space where the single crochet was placed at the beginning of the strap. And then you're going to make a chain of 1 and cut your yarn, leaving behind a tail to weave in. And now you're going to turn your work to the back side, and you can just tie a knot at this point. You can tie a knot maybe 3 times or 2 times, whichever feels secure for you. Or you can even go ahead and use a darning needle, just as we've been doing for our previous loose tails. So you can cut off the excess yarn, and you can see how the front side of our strap looks like, or the front side of the top. We're going to repeat the same exact process of creating the same exact strap for this part as well. So just rewind the video and repeat the same exact instructions for your second strap, and I'll meet you back to show you how to lace up your bralette. Okay, so once you're through with your straps, as you can see here, you're going to turn your work onto the wrong side. Just turn it around, and then you're going to gather this side extension that we made towards the side of the bottom band, and we're going to grab our straps. At this point, you're going to create an X at the back. So the strap from this side goes to the opposite side, and this is what it will look like. You're going to lace into the very first loop at the top of the bottom band on both ends, and then from here you're going to determine whether you want to skip some boxes. For me, I'll definitely skip, because my strap is not long enough to go into all the loops. So I'll skip 3 loops and then go into the next 1, 2, 3, and then into the next, just like a shoelace, and then I'll skip 3 loops and go into the last. So just like that, we are done lacing up the strap at the back of our bralette, and then at this point you can tie. So this shows you the use of having a very long strap, but don't make it so long that the strings will disorganize the person wearing the bralette. At this point, you can tie a knot or create a ribbon at the back, and this is what the back side will look like. Then the front side will definitely look like this. So that's it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Make sure you give it a thumbs up if you did. If you learned something new, definitely subscribe. And if you would like to make a matching set, in our next video, we shall be learning how to make the matching skirt, as you can see in the images above. So watch out for that tutorial, and I will see you in my next video. Don't forget to check out the written pattern, and thanks for watching. Bye, guys.